All right, for today's video review, we're going to continue on our look at the power of the Primes Predacons here. In the previous video, we took a look at Razor Claw, and for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Rampage. So that's what they all look like together, but without further ado, we'll get the rest of these guys off so we can just take a look at Rampage in and of himself. And yeah, Rampage is, I think, probably the worst of the lot here. He looks, I would say, charitably awkward in both of his modes, but yeah, no, he's not great. But here he is in his tiger panther, I don't know what Rampage turns into, big cat mode here. And yeah, it's a little chunky. He's got his robot mode gun here just plugged in as the tail, which works well enough, and at least it is decent storage there. But yeah, he's a little gappy, he's big and chunky, and his legs look a little piddly. He certainly does not look as sleek as as most big cats often do. And so, yeah, you know, he's not great in this mode, I would say, but weirdly enough, I think it might be his better of his two modes. Yeah, in terms of articulation, the head, you can kind of bend up and down here, and then he is one that does have an opening jaw, so you can open up his jaw there, and that looks decent. His arms will just end up being the robot mode arms, so they're just on ball joints here, and they can go out to the side on this joint. No real thigh swivel or anything, just because the way it folds up. He does have a knee joint, but it, I think, just bends, yeah, this way, which is not the right way for it to bend. I don't think so. But yeah, whatever. And then this often comes untabbed as well. And then the back legs here, you can kind of untab them and bring them back at the back here, but they can't rotate or anything. And then he's got a knee joint there, and then a little foot joint. Oh, I guess he does have feet joints on the front as well. And that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy there. Another thing I didn't really mention on Razor Claw, because I feel like he doesn't have as many of them, but another big problem with these guys and a lot of the Power of the Primes figures in general is that they all have these like foil stickers on them, which did not stay very well. I understand why they were trying to do this as like a nostalgia thing, but just the quality of these stickers, they all ended up peeling at least a little bit almost instantly. So that I think plagues these guys even more so than any of the other Power of the Primes figures I have, is that they all have these kind of unfortunately peeling up stickers here, and that's not really something that just happened over time. Like, that was pretty instantaneous. So whatever. I think it does affect Rampage pretty poorly here. Probably he's maybe the worst one in terms of that too. So poor guy just has got the short end of the stick all the way around. But in terms of comparisons in this mode, just for a standard one, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe, and then here he is with 86 Megatron too, just so you can see what he looks like with a few standard size figures. And then for another Tiger comparison, here he is with Tigatron, specifically the Golden Disc one, but I mean, you know, he's the same shape and size as the other Tigatron one too. This one just has more typical Tiger colors. And yeah, obviously, you know, he looks better. Actually, now that I put them together, I'm not even sure he's supposed to be a tiger. Like, is he like a puma or a panther or something like that? I'm not sure, but whatever he is, he's not great. But yeah, to get onto transformation, he does have some neat things going on, but again, it does ultimately come at expense of both modes, I would say. You just want to take the gun and untab it here. You want to take the legs here, and they will fold up into the thighs just like that. And then these bits will double hinge down and actually become the robot mode feet, which is kind of neat. Then you can untab this whole section, bring it down at the torso, and then click it in like that. Then you kind of combiner wars out his legs here, just like that. Just double hinge them open. Then for the arms here, basically you untab this section and bring it around, and then the panther leg or whatever just clips onto the back of the forearm, and then you can kind of fold up the foot and then open up the hand there, and do that on both sides here. Then we can kind of take this bit, you fold it down. The head's a little bit annoying to get a grip on just because it is so sunk in there. Like, he's got a little tab on his head, but it's hard to get. There we go. And then you click his head up just like that. And then for this back piece, which ends up being like the shoulder of like the combined mode, you basically just fold this up like this and then rotate it so it kind of sits off his back like a backpack. I do like how that was like actually incorporated into being part of the alt mode, but it does not incorporate super well in the robot mode. Unfortunately, it just kind of sticks off of his back. But yeah, there we have Rampage in his robot mode. And yeah, he's not great looking. He's got kind of really awkward proportions. I mean, there's the huge problem of the huge backpack, but then he's also got kind of like stumpy little arms. Like you can kind of push him down at the shoulders so they're a little longer, but then the shoulders kind of look like they're in the wrong place. But if you bring them up at the shoulders so the shoulders look more natural, then his arms look a little too stumpy. The legs are okay. I mean, they're hollow, and a lot of these guys kind of have hollow parts, but he's got this weird thing where his head is like perpetually looking down for some reason, and like that's not even just like a problem with the way that they, decided to budget and engineer these guys. That's just, they could have just fixed that, but whatever. The head is kind of awkward in the way it sticks out. I wish it compressed a little bit more, but like you can push it in like this so that like the neck compresses a little more, but then the head sticks out. He's just not great looking, honestly. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It pretty much only gets a swivel's range. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a cut to mitigate the fact that he's just looking straight down. Head sculpt looks fine. I mean, it's a, Rampage head sculpt. He's got kind of a boring looking head to begin with, but his shoulders are on ball joints here so they can rotate around, and he's got that separate hinge to go out to the side, though he does bump into his own head a little bit. He does have a ball jointed and a separate like transformation joint for the elbow, so he can fold up all the way, and he does have a bicep swivel because of that. Nothing at the wrist other than bending in. He does have a waist joint, which is nice. Hips can go forward and back and out to the side, only about that far. He's got a thigh swivel, less than 90 degrees of bend at the knee. Again, not great. And then the feet, just because of the way they, kind of fold up for transformation, you do get some ankle tilt there, which is nice. But yeah, you can't really get him into a tremendous number of good looking poses just because of his weird sort of stumpy proportions, and the fact he's always looking down is just not great. And if like he's got that thing with the hips where he's got the soft detent, so it's like if you want to bring him back a little bit at the hips so he's looking forward, you're bringing him back to like there, which does not look good either. So whatever. Obviously you can give him his gun here, and he looks okay holding it. He honestly doesn't hold it super well, like only just tabs into his hand, but fine. And then in terms of storage, I don't think there's really anything dedicated, but I don't know actually. Oh yeah, that's only for, I mean, you can use this port and it works fine, is basically what I'm getting at the end, at the end here. I think that this port is more meant for like the shoulder cannon for Predaking mode, so it's not like they specifically designed it for this, but it does work for this, so that works fine. At least he has something, unlike Razor Claw. But yeah, still like whatever. But yeah, in terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Kingdom Sideswipe, so you can see what they look like together. Here he is with 86 Megatron, so you can see a little shorter than him, and he'll never look him in the eyes. Just for posterity's sake, here he is again with Mutant Tigatron, for whatever that's worth. And then, like I said, I'm not going to show them off with all of them, but just as we go along, I'll show them off with the ones we've already reviewed. So here he is with Razor Claw here, who definitely I would say is a much better figure, and even him, he's not great, so that's saying something. I do think that Rampage is probably the worst of the lot. He's just, I think, looks worst in both modes and has the most obvious problems with like the stickers and stuff like that, and maybe the most limited articulation too. He's just not very good, unfortunately. But yeah, whatever. He makes a decent arm, I guess. I mean, he's on the wrong side, but so he doesn't even totally do that right, but I don't know. He's not a very good figure, but you need him as part of the team, and they all come together anyway. It's not like you're buying him individually, but Yeah, not a whole lot else to say about him. He's the worst of the not very good lot. But whatever. There he is. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers: Power of the Primes Rampage.